So this conversation about what does healing and or recovery mean in our work and from in my work in this world of addiction, and it's even termed addiction recovery. Recovery kind of notes that something was lost. And I think this will lead right into the conversation about healing, that there was something was lost or something was covered. I usually use it in those terms when I'm teaching. Something's been covered. And a lot of it comes from, you know, we get told, we get programmed into certain things, even as our our left brain starts to come online, right? You get told you're a girl and girls do this, or you're a boy and boys do this, or you're black and black fits in the world this way, or you're white and white fits in the world this way. So we get all this programming, and when that happens, I start to lose who I am. That's how I become disembodied. That's how I become disconnected, right? And all of those things. So there is something that's lost as a result of that kind of programming, and healing and recovery for me and for the population that I work with is recognizing that really truthfully it's not lost. It was just covered, right? So we always talk about the job as being a job of subtraction, right? I'm chipping away at all this stuff that's been dumped on top of my wholeness. And I always love when we're speaking of that in terms of healing, we make this big distinction between healing and curing in my work. Curing is what we want doctors to do and what other people to do.
Yeah.
Healing actually comes in its roots from holing, WHOLING, the wholeness, right? And I love that. Healing is returning to wholeness. And so the thought in this world is how do we keep doing this subtraction, chipping away at all this crap that's been dumped, because we come in here whole, right? And so all this stuff that's been dumped on top of
It's
it.
like finding joy, right? Where is joy?
And it's
Joy is
and it's
all
it's
right
already it's
here.
already there.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
So I work adaptively, with a lot of my students, and they could come in with paralyzation or even amputees. And that was traumatic, if you will, generally, since they didn't come into this world that way. And so for my students coming to me, it's trying to figure out what is now. But again, just like you said, it's almost like chipping away to find that wholeness again, but to figure out how to maneuver in this new vehicle in a calm and supported way, which isn't always easy because it's the one coping in their vehicle now and also their surroundings of what is now.
I love it. I love it. So I see similarities in that in recovery, it's establishing this different relationship with life. It's establishing this different relationship with myself and the world around me. So it's this whole idea of being present again to what is in this moment, you know, and that I'm in a different relationship with these things now, right?
A different relationship, right? Like, so when we're working adaptively with students, it's what is your relationship to the earth beneath you? How can you connect? And I'm sure that's what you're like, how can you
Exactly.
connect to the earth beneath you? But even working with, post-traumatic stress is their relationship around them has completely changed, and how they react to things and people around them have changed. So how do we work with that, even from a standpoint of being teachers and working with that in the room and giving them the tools to help them rehabilitate into a calm and supported life of resiliency.
It's so funny. I think about in working with this population and just beginning to introduce the idea of you're already whole and complete, and there's nothing to seek outside of yourself, right? And to see the light that comes on when, because often get told we're deficient in some way, right? There's something missing, and I got to go out and run and seek and find all the things that are missing. And to see people recognize or just begin to even entertain this whole idea, well, I'm not missing anything, right? That I'm already whole and complete. It's just amazing.
You're perfect just the way you are.
Yeah, that our innate essence is really wholeness, right? That's our innate essence, and so.
When I'm working with disability, if you will, especially someone who is newly, I don't like the word disabled at all, but when I'm working with someone coming to me newly, whether it be an amputee or even newly in a wheelchair, and that's a huge transition to be, walking and then the next day
Not.
you're not. And seeing how able-bodied people react to this population, and that has been a huge eye-opener with me working in this population, just being at a restaurant and having a waiter disregard the person in the wheelchair and looking at me going, and what would they like? That's huge, and that is disregarding, and that does not help any kind of rehabilitation, healing, or otherwise. So I think we actually, in helping as a society to reframe, it has to be more normal, and we have to bring in as a society, because we're seeing more and more and more people in wheelchairs, people in walkers, people on crutches, more amputees.
I really, while that is not at all my experience, there was something about what you said that resonated with this dehumanization, right? That we're culturally, that is programmed into us as well, right? So this healing and coming back to wholeness is not just for them or that population. It's not just for those folks. Ultimately, really, it is for all of us to strip away this programming.
Absolutely, absolutely.